Okay. Hi. Hi. Um, so this is weird. Um, this is a transitional video, I guess. Um, I haven't posted anything since 20. I look different. I am different. Um, Let me think. 2017? Yes. This video is very different from what I know. Okay, no, it was sooner. I posted some videos in 2020, I think. Yes, 2020. Okay, so it's been 5 years and very different. Okay, so this is a long intro. I'm a babbler, and I think maybe that's why I want to do this. This is also not my normal, I don't know what my normal setup would be if I were to do this often or constantly. But right now, I'm just filming on my phone, on my laptop that's balanced on a book and my med box, and I'm sitting on a bed with a light on during the middle of the day. Why? Because it gives ambiance. This is also a terrible angle, but I kind of realized that I am not doing this for the aesthetics. No aesthetics. That was a weird angle. I looked like I was just like, okay, sorry. No aesthetics. That's not what this is about. I think for a long time I tried to have aesthetics, or I wanted to be aesthetic. I'm not. I'm a mess. And that's not me being like, I'm a mess, and then somehow have my life together. No, I'm a literal mess. I'm going through a real low period of my life, and that's why I'm doing this, because I'm trying to find things that bring me joy. And I don't know if this brings me joy or will bring me joy, but we're going to see. That's the whole point of this. And also to share my thoughts, and I will explain now. So this used to be a K-pop channel, like reaction videos. I was very into K-pop, and it was a good time in my life. I'm not gonna lie, it was a great time. I had fun. Astra was my bias group, you know. Yay. I no longer really listen. I only listen sometimes when I need to feel better about life. I listen to K-pop, even if it's like sad K-pop music. I would still listen to it because I can't understand. But anyway, so this used to be a K-pop channel. Then I tried, I don't know what I tried, but mainly K-pop. But my biggest special interest that has been for the past 2.5 years. Why do I look like I have the broadest shoulders in the world? Okay, anyway, is knitting. Yes, it's knitting. I've gone from K-pop to knitting. K-pop to knitting pipeline. That's what should be discussed. Is that a thing? I don't know, but it could be. It could be a thing, and we just don't talk about it. So we'll never know. We'll never know. But this is about knitting, and I have some thoughts I wrote in a journal, in a book. So it looks, you know, I don't know. Anyway, so I have some thoughts as a knitter, and just like an intro video to me as I am now, and as a knitter. So knitting is the main thing, but this is also an introduction to me. That sounds so full of it. Like, wow, this is an introduction to me because I'm that special. No, I'm not that special. I'm not that interesting. I'm actually, I consider myself a very boring person, actually. A very boring person. My name is the most interesting thing about me, which is funny. I'm only mentioning that because I found a knitting video of someone with the same name as me, different spelling, but same name as me, which is a big deal because my name is a very that's not a word, uncommon name. This is already 6 minutes long. I don't even know if I'm going to edit this because this is just pure raw depression. Insert meme. I don't know. So I don't know if I'm even gonna edit this. Like, there's a lot that's happened in the past 5 years, and I think I started this channel in 2016. And that's even longer. Like, that's going back even further back. Anyway, so this is just like a video of who I am now mixed with knitting. Okay, so I'm gonna start with a controversial note. Is it controversial? I don't know if it's controversial, but why I'm going to mention this at all. So I was watching a video yesterday, interesting video about knitting, capitalism, society, consumerism, etc. It was interesting, but she made a comment and I was like, ooh. And the first point is, yes, I loved metal needles. Apparently that is an old lady thing to like. Well, sign me up to the old lady list because I'm an old lady. Not physically. No, I am physically an old lady. Flippin' hell. You would swear I'm ancient by the way my body acts. But anyway, that's a different thing. So yes, I love metal needles. I love the way they sound, how they feel, how they are. Do my fingers like it? No. That's maybe something I wish someone warned me about, is when you knit consistently, a lot, consistently and a lot, you're gonna develop calluses and cuts in your fingers if you use metal needles. I found that you don't really get that with wooden needles, but I don't like wooden needles. And no, I did not start out on metal needles, so that's not the reason why. I started out on bamboo needles. Yes, I started out on bamboo needles, but I found that I just prefer. What am I doing? I just prefer metal needles, and I love the sound of metal needles. I love the clanking and clicking sound of metal needles. There's nothing better, and I'm not gonna apologize for it. I love the feel. I love the way the different types of yarn grips to the metal or doesn't grip. I like that it's slippery, and I don't do it because I watched a video of someone saying that the metal needles help you knit a bit faster. I don't do it for the knitting faster. That's my next point, is I love metal needles, and I will to the day I die. But that brings me to point number 2. I'm back and forth. I didn't write them in order. I should have written them in order. But anyway, I wrote down, we're not machines, so knit at your own speed. We're not all fast knitters, but that doesn't mean you're any less of a knitter. And that's something I'm trying to learn, because I'm not a fast knitter. I'm an English knitter, English style knitting. First of all, we are not known for our speed. Oh, that was almost the wrong. Did I knit that? Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Where was I? We're not machines. And it's okay to knit slow. That's what I'm trying to tell myself and learn. Because this is another point that I have, is I said point number 3, but that's related to point number 2, is we all probably are perfectionists. Slow down, enjoy, and trust the process. And that's what I learned. I'm not saying everyone, but I've got a feeling the majority of knitters out there are perfectionists. We want all of our stitches to be correct. Okay, that's what we want. We want them to be all correct and perfect. The tension must be perfect. The color must be perfect. Everything must look like how we want it to be in our heads. That's perfectionism. And I do think that a lot of patterns that are popular do not allow for things to be imperfect. Because they're such simple styles, I'm not going to do ribbing because this is very stressful trying to talk while doing ribbing. The styles are very simple and beautiful, the popular ones, don't get me wrong. I like all, but that means that if you make a mistake, it's far more visible, or if your tension's off, or if your whatever is off, it's far more visible. And that, I think, kind of makes people want to be more perfectionistic. Is that a word? I don't know, but it is now. I think we need to slow down. So not only do we want to be perfectionists, we want to be fast knitters, to be part, and I think that's part of the perfectionist mindset. You have to be good, you have to be perfect, you have to be fast, you have to be like a machine. And this is knitting. We're doing this with our own hands. That's wild when you think about it. Wild, my guys. Wild. We've got 10 fingers and palms attached to wrists, and then we've got 2 sticky things, a string, and then we turn it into something to wear. That is wild, let's be honest. So slowing down, enjoying the process, trusting the process is important, and that's something I'm trying to learn. It's not easy, because my whole life I've been wanting to be perfect, and I'm far from it. No one's perfect, but I'm not saying I'm the furthest from perfect, because then that makes me, I'm not. Anyway, let's not get into this whole. Anyway, so it's a process. We're not machines, and we need to learn to love it. another point I think is important. I'm leaving the big points for last. But this one I think relates a bit better. I wrote, you're not going to love everything to do with knitting, and that's okay. It's a process. And let me explain. Do I love ribbing? No. Do I enjoy knitting? Yes. But it's a process. So I have to go through the ribbing to enjoy the finished object. And I'm not sure if that makes sense. I'm sure it does. But sorry, there's a lot of sounds going on. And also I'm feeling very funny, so excuse. I'm trying to make this linear, but my brain is not linear, first of all. Second of all, okay, so let me explain. Like, in general, my brain is not a linear thinking brain because I'm neurodiverse. So my brain is like this. Everything, it's like a spider diagram, but like not as pretty. I don't know, like a spider web. Like, I'm thinking like a literal spider web, not a spider diagram. Those things can be hideous. If you had to do them at school, you would know. But anyway, so everything's like that in my brain. So like there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of sounds, and trying to put these thoughts into a video is very strange because I haven't done this in years. I'm actually very camera shy. I never used to be. No, I used to be, then I wasn't, then now I am again camera shy. Does that make sense? I feel very vulnerable in front of a camera because of how I look and how I feel. I think I'm kind of scared that the camera will pick up how I feel inside, and how I feel inside at the moment is not great. And I'm being very vulnerable and honest with you right now. To the one person who watches this, please know I'm laying all my cards on the table for you. And this is supposed to be about knitting, but it's also about mental health. Yay! Okay, so I was trying to say that it's a process and we don't have to enjoy every single part of the process. Like, sometimes you're just not going to like certain aspects of knitting, and that's okay. You don't need to like everything. That's what I'm trying to say. And we're gonna move on to another point, is that not everything has to be aesthetic and new. Important point. This is leading in to my other points, my last 2 points. And I think there's so much emphasis put on aesthetics and looking aesthetic and being part of an aesthetic that, one, you lose yourself, and 2, you waste money. Like, if you're just careful, if you're just smart, no, smart is relative. If you're just like thoughtful, if you're just conscious of what you're doing, you can easily get away with one tape measure. I saw a video of someone saying that you need several. You do not need several tape measures. You do not need a tape measure in every single bag. Just like, as long as you have one tape measure, it can be any kind of tape measure. They are not expensive. you can use it. There's a lot of dogs. Wow. For instance, my favorite tape measure is this. I have it in my, it's called a Notions bag. Okay. This is from, I don't know, if you just look at it, okay, you will see it's from a specific era. I mean, too broke to travel. Still am. Can't talk eating. Come on. Like, hello, I'm hungry. Come on. That was an era and a half. But like, that's my point. At the time, I thought it was aesthetic. Right now, it's just a memory of the past. But it works. And I take it everywhere with me. But this is my favorite tape measure. This is actually a tape measure that was my grandmother's, I think in the 60s. So it's not always like, so it gets a little bit stuck sometimes. Like it's, and the button, it worked there, but sometimes it doesn't work. It's okay. But I do recommend a retractable tape measure just because it's, West Germany. Okay. It's from West Germany. I don't know, that could be interesting to someone out there. But you don't need fancy stuff. I have 3 tape measures. This one I found / was given to me. Another one was given to me as a present because it was part of a present, and another one I'm not sure about. But I only use this one because I keep it in my Notions bag, which I take with me everywhere. It doesn't matter that I only have one. Yes. There, I've taken a lot of pauses in this section because my brain, there was just so much going on. But like, you don't need to be aesthetic. It doesn't have to be new. If you have stuff lying around the house, use it. I mean, there's a lot of people saying this. I'm not saying I'm the only one saying this. Excuse me. There's a lot of people saying this, but like, I just want to like be more encouraging of this, because a lot of people spend a lot of money, and I have spent a lot of money on this net. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've spent but it's okay. I'm doing it because I'm sad and I need something that makes me feel better. But that gets into my other points, which is I should actually what I'm doing is exactly what I should not be doing. But it's okay. It's like a little treat. It's a treat for myself. A sweet treat. Instead of food and getting through a month, I just buy on. I don't actually, but like, to give you an idea, like, anyway. But that gets me on to let me go with the knit what makes you happy and comfortable. I think that's important. If that means using acrylic yarn on the cheapest needles, then do it. don't be influenced into what makes you broke or less happy. And that's important. I need to myself remember that, because just because everyone else has the nice fibers because they can somehow afford the nice fibers doesn't mean that I can't have fun with acrylics. Like saying that like their nails. But like the colors that you can get in acrylic yarns, like the mixtures, the colors, all of that, it's fun. It's really fun. People don't talk about that a lot. Like natural, it's very trendy at the moment to be neutral colors. Does this look like a neutral color? No, I think not. Even though this is a neutral, this is I purposefully bought a neutral color for this. Purposefully. But most of the time, my knits are non-neutrals. They're quite bright, variegated. Is that the right word? I think that's the right word. I'm not sure. So they're very I don't know. Anyway, so essentially, buy and use what you want. That's what I'm trying to say. Buy and use what you want and what makes you happy, and call it a day. Just do it. Don't be influenced by people telling you you must use this or you must use that. Because also a very important point that I did not write down is not all of us live in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay? Not all of us live in the Northern Hemisphere where we have access to all these nice things. Yeah, a wool store, you find the same brands, okay, in every single wool store across the country. I'm not even joking. I've been to quite a few. Also online stuff. Yes, there are some specialist yarn, wool, needle, haberdashery places. But my word, are they expensive. So expensive. Just no, it's okay. Did I last year treat myself to ChiaoGoo needles? Not a whole set because I can't afford that. At a specialist yarn shop? Yes, I did. Are they lovely to work with? Yes, they are. Can I maybe one day afford them? Probably not. Because let's be honest, ChiaoGoo is expensive. I did buy myself their double point. Okay, there's no price on there. Thank the Lord. Thank you. There's no price on there. It's just the label. But I bought the 2mm double pointed needles because I wanted them for something specific that I haven't made yet, but I'm using them for something else that's specific. So it worked out for the best. I don't know if that made sense. I'm making cat toys on 2mm double pointed needles, and I can also use them for socks. I haven't knitted on 2mm socks, but we'll see. I'm sure it will come along somewhere. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. There wasn't one to begin with, but I've lost what I had, which was very little. So now I'm just I do have what I wanted to say is KnitPro is affordable in South Africa. So if you want to spoil yourself, invest in KnitPro. They are much easier to find. and cheaper and work better than the standard like Ellie. Is it Ellie? I think it's Ellie. Needles that you get in literally every yarn store in South Africa. Those needles, not great. But they work, they do the job. If you love them, great. I am part of a knitting group, and my favorite yarn store that I live close to sells only them. Well, that and this other client that I don't know the name of, but I've only seen them at that shop. But they're like 20 rand, so which is less than that's like $1. For reference, it's $1 for knitting needles. And they're decent. They're actually pretty good, but they're metal needles, and if you don't like metal needles, you're not gonna like them. But if you want to treat yourself in South Africa, try Knit Pro. There are some online stores. I know the yarn store that I went to buy the Chalgu has an online store, but they're on the pricey side, so I wouldn't recommend them. Then you've got 2 other yarn stores. One that is a physical yarn store in Knysna, I think, and one that's an online store that's based in George. So the ones I Love Yarn, and the other one is Scarpy. And Scarpy has the biggest range. I'll link them down below because I'm hoping to find South African knitters, or African knitters, or Southern Hemisphere knitters, because wow, is it a struggle when the seasons are opposite and everyone else is going on about summer knits and you're like, I need winter knit recommendations. I need a winter knits. I don't need summer knits, I need winter. And then when it's summer here, everyone's going on about the best winter knits and you're like, I need summer knits, but it's so hard to find summer knits. It's a whole struggle and a half. But you know, it is what it is, and we make it work. I feel like that's just knitting philosophy. It is what it is, and you make it work. You make a plan to make it work for you. It's like modifications. It's life modifications through knitting. I don't know what I'm saying, but anyway, there was a thought at the beginning of all of this, but I don't know what the thought was. But anyway, I think the biggest point that I have to make is one that I think is an important one. And okay, so let me just read it out, then I'll try and see if I can explain my train of thought. Just buying natural fibers doesn't make you any less a part of the capitalist or consumeristic society, because I sometimes get the vibes, the feeling from certain knitters, not like, I can't name them, but like when I come across them, I'm like essentially what I'm saying is that it's greenwashing. Just because you're buying natural fibers doesn't make you any less part of the problem. And let me explain. We live in a very fast-paced world, and I think that's what all of this has been leading to, is that it's part of the perfectionism, it's part of the fastness that we want to knit, it's part of the aesthetics, it's the looks, it's the wanting things to be new and this and that and everything. And that leads to a lot of like what you need for knitting things. You need as a knitter that if you don't have it, you realize that you don't necessarily need it. So these, for example, these Knit Pro needles, I didn't have them until recently, and I've been knitting for 2.5 years. Doesn't mean that I need it. Okay, no, I actually did need some of the sizes. That's why I started buying them, because I couldn't get fixed needles, the cheap fixed needles in the sizes that I needed to knit. So that's why I started buying them. But at the same time, like, I've made a plan in the past, like used DPNs, etc, etc. But you know, I get the vibe that people think that just because you're knitting, you are sustainable. I don't think that's the case. I think people with massive yarn stashes is a bit kind of part of the problem. I'm gonna say it. And this is not a knitting hot take. I'm not trying to put anyone down. If you have a massive yarn stash, great for you. I'm happy for you that you can just like go there, pick out stuff, make a new project. I can't, because I can't afford it, first of all. Second of all, it is a waste to do like a, so unless you actually have a plan for your yarns, it is a waste just buying it. And like, I was someone who just bought stuff when I first started out. I just bought stuff for the sake of buying it, and it's a waste. It was a waste. It is a waste. I know that now. There's nothing I can do about it apart from just have random stuff in my yarn stash that's taking up space that I can't use at various weights, like. But I think a lot of people put emphasis on that if it's natural, then it's good. And we all know that that is not always the case, and it's part of greenwashing, and you can still be part of the capitalistic and consumeristic society, and it's a whole philosophical train of thought. But what I'm trying to say is that if you can't afford it, it's okay. And if you can afford it, great for you, but don't think that you like are making this big difference. Just be like, I can afford a yarn stash. Be proud of it. So if you have a giant yarn stash, great for you. My best friend has a giant yarn stash. She's a crocheter. She's got a giant yarn stash. No beef with her, obviously, because she's my best friend. It would be weird if I had beef with her. But she doesn't buy natural fiber, she buys acrylic, so there is a slight difference there, that her budget is still, I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm trying to do and say is that knitting is comforting, and we should view it as that, keep it as that, and don't put pressure on ourselves for it to be anything other than that. And I think that will be the end of this video, because I've been speaking for a very long time. I have to edit this down, and I don't know when this will be released. I don't even know if this will be released, because this is me just talking and me just trying to find joy in life. That sounded depressing as But it's the truth. It's the truth. I am trying to find the good times, the good things, the things that made me happy. That's what I'm trying to do. And what I tried to do with this video is just put down some knitting thoughts that I wanted to express. If I expressed them well, I don't know. I'm not the most eloquent person. Because I'm just not. I mean, I'm sure there's many reasons, but I'm just not. I'm just a girl with a mouth. Oh. I don't think I should go around saying shit like that. I'm just a girl who talks too much. But yeah, I don't know. I've been thinking of doing this for a while. That's why I'm doing this. Originally, my first video was going to be showing you everything I've knitted or knit in the past 2.5 years to make you feel better about yourself. By that I mean I've been knitting for 2.5 years, but I still don't have like this ginormous wardrobe like I see so many other people do. Like, how can someone just tell me how? Not that I want a giant wardrobe full, because also I don't live in a country where it really gives me the opportunity to wear a giant wardrobe full of knits, and trying to find summer knits is difficult at the best of times because the majority of knitters seem to be in the northern hemisphere. I mean, yeah. Anywho, that's the end of this video. I don't know when or how, what, anything to do with this video. That does not make grammatical sense at all, but maybe you get the idea. I don't know anything about this video, when it will go out, what it's about. I mean, I do, but like, I don't. I'm just going to call it a day and say sorry that I'm not the most entertaining, that I'm not the best looking person, that I do kind of look terrible. And I'm not saying this to be hard on myself. Like, this is also kind of purposeful. It's purposefully at a bad angle. It's purposefully that it's just like I'm trying to make a point. I guess that's the point. So I'm trying to make a point and prove something, not only to myself, but now I'm trying to seek validation from other people. That's not healthy either. I guess I'm just trying to see if I can find any sort of target audience. And kind of laid back, stripped down, 2007 vibes. Because this is giving me 2007 vibes. Like, it's a blank wall, terrible picture quality, someone just yapping. I wasn't on YouTube in 2007. I wasn't on YouTube until much later in life. But you get what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm gonna end the video there because I'm just saying terrible. I'm just saying verbal diarrhea. Okay, bye-bye.